Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to completely demystify how you can build 4 custom, totally non-technical AI agents that will honestly, fundamentally change how you work. We're talking about shifting your mindset, moving away from that looming fear of job replacement and instead focusing on how to reclaim literally hours of your time every single week. And look, if you can type, you can build these. You absolutely don't need to be a programmer or some tech wizard. We're going to dive right into the exact frameworks to set these up so you can finally stop doing the busy work and start doing your life's actual work.
But to really understand why we desperately need this, let's start with a pretty brutal reality. Microsoft did some research on how we actually work, and the average worker is bombarded with about 117 emails every single day. And if that wasn't enough, we're interrupted every 2 minutes by a message, a meeting, or some other random notification. It's just this constant, exhausting barrage of incoming demands on our brain power.
So when your attention gets chopped into tiny, fractured pieces like 275 times a day, and hey, that doesn't even count social media scrolling, how do you actually stop your day from being completely hijacked? You can't just work harder or type faster to beat that kind of volume. It doesn't work. You need a system that acts as a shield between you and the noise, a system that actually gives you your attention back.
And we're going to solve this using a highly actionable framework. We call it the 4 C's. We'll use this to systematically build out a suite of personalized AI assistants covering coordination, creativity, clarity, and coaching.
All right, let's jump right into pillar number 1, coordination, and how to tame that daily chaos.
Because look, before you can do any deep, meaningful work, you've got to get a handle on the chaos, right? So we start by building a digital gatekeeper. This is an agent that reads your inbox, checks your calendar, and actually plans your day for you. Now, you start by securely letting the AI access your email, but, and this is absolutely crucial, you have to establish strict, ironclad boundaries. If you feel a little uneasy about letting an AI read your inbox, that's actually a good thing. Trust your hesitation there. You set the rules. So, for example, allow it to categorize messages and maybe draft responses, but never ever grant it the permission to actually hit send without your explicit final approval.
To make this work smoothly, you really have to talk to the AI the right way. When you assign work to this agent, you've got to craft a perfectly structured prompt containing 5 essential parts. You tell it the job, the specific tool it's using, the categories to sort things into, the exact output you expect, and finally that hard boundary it cannot cross. So you might tell it, hey, review my unread emails, sort them into urgent and ignore, draft replies for the urgent ones, but do not send anything. The AI just needs to know exactly how to act and exactly when to stop.
And whatever you do, don't delegate everything right out of the gate. That is a total recipe for disaster. The progression goes like this. First, make the work visible, then make it efficient, then make it automatic. Only after you've trusted this email agent's output for a few weeks should you take the next step and connect your calendar. By integrating your schedule with your inbox, you can slowly promote this basic little agent into your very own automated executive assistant, one that flags scheduling conflicts and actually blocks out time for you to just breathe.
Moving right along, let's look at pillar number 2, creativity, or what I like to call your drafting multiplier.
Now, to be clear, this isn't about the AI somehow being creative for you. It's about the AI acting as a multiplier for your own ideas. You just supply the messy, unstructured background notes, those half-baked thoughts you have at 2 a.m., and you drop them into a designated folder. Then use a targeted, super clear prompt, like you're telling it to build a pitch deck, you set the length, and this is the secret sauce here. You command it to actively ask you questions if it finds gaps in your logic. It does all the heavy lifting of that initial build, so you're never stuck staring at a terrifying blank white page.
And what makes this incredibly powerful is that these agents use specialized skills to actually generate native files. You aren't just getting a wall of text in a chat window, you're getting a real editable PowerPoint file or a Word document. Because the AI takes care of all that tedious formatting, it puts you firmly in the director's chair. You can tweak the output, demand layout changes, and even force the AI to flawlessly match your exact company brand templates every single time. It's a real game changer.
All right, on to pillar number 3, clarity. This is all about decoding those incredibly complex documents.
We've all been there, right? Someone hands you a dense, terrifying document, a lease agreement, a medical report, maybe some massive vendor contract. To cure that confusion, your agent can actually conduct research for you in 2 very distinct ways. Sometimes you need what we call the telescope, gathering vast, scattered data from across the web and your connected drives just to get the big picture on, say, a new client. But other times you need the microscope, digging incredibly deep into one single dense contract to extract the key ideas and mercilessly flag any hidden risks.
Now, when you're in that microscope mode, you must never, ever just ask the AI for a summary. Think about it. Summaries just make confusing things shorter, right? Instead, command the agent to output a rigorous 5-column table. Make it extract what the document actually says, translate that into plain English, explain why it matters to you, assess the risk level, and give you a list of critical questions you need to be asking. This structure forces the AI to expose hidden fees and liabilities that you might have otherwise completely glossed over.
And that brings us to pillar number 4, coaching, or rehearsing for success.
This agent is specifically designed for those high-stakes moments in life where you really only get one shot. Think a massive job interview, a crucial salary negotiation, or a huge pitch. You simply cannot afford to figure out what you're going to say while you're actually in the room. Showing up unprepared is kind of like walking into your first big interview wearing a borrowed pre-tied tie just because you didn't know how to tie one yourself. It is terrifying. And honestly, 93% of people get intensely anxious about job interviews. But the absolute definitive solution to killing that anxiety is practicing out loud. And guess what? Your AI agent is the perfect, tireless sparring partner. You can build this incredible rehearsal environment in just a few minutes. Just upload your resume and the job description, and then assign your AI a specific persona, like a sharp, overly skeptical hiring manager. Then, turn on voice mode on your phone and go for a walk. You engage in a completely natural, interrupting, back-and-forth conversation. You literally force the AI to push back on your weak answers exactly like a tough interviewer would.
And notice the brilliant little technique here, breaking character. At the end of the simulation, you tell the AI to drop that tough hiring manager persona and immediately become your supportive interview coach. You have it analyze exactly where you rambled and where you fumbled, and then have it hand you a concise one-page prep card of actionable feedback. Doing this builds your capacity to improvise with total confidence.
Finally, let's talk about the big picture, the human advantage.
With these 4 highly capable agents built and running, coordinating your day, drafting your decks, analyzing your contracts, and coaching your pitches, we really have to confront the massive elephant in the room. And that's our fears surrounding AI and how it's fundamentally reshaping our relationship with work. The anxiety is real, for sure, and it's measurable. Surveys actually show that 70% of Americans and a staggering 81% of Gen Z fear that AI is going to displace their jobs and rapidly shrink their future opportunities. People are genuinely worried about becoming obsolete in the face of all this technology. But while some job displacement is inevitable as industries shift, history shows us that we've totally panicked over this exact thing before. This anxiety was notably visualized way back in 1936 by Charlie Chaplin, getting physically pulled into the massive cogs and gears of a factory in his film Modern Times. Every era seems to believe the new machine is the one that will finally swallow the human entirely.
So, the crucial takeaway is this. If the contest of the future is just about speed, memory, and raw output, yeah, the machines are going to win every time. But machines cannot own your lived experience. They cannot own your taste. They cannot own your empathy. And most importantly, they absolutely cannot own your judgment. Those things are uniquely yours.
The true power of this 4-agent framework isn't just about finishing your daily tasks faster. It's about taking back your life and your attention from the endless busy work so you can actually focus on the human decisions that matter. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one thought. Will you let the machine replace you, or will you take control today and use it to amplify your uniquely human judgment? The choice is entirely yours.